Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, or good evening, depending on when you're doing this video. Today we are on lesson 16 of module 1, and we are continuing division, and we are also continuing practicing that partial quotient method. So what we are going to be seeing today is a little bit different just because our quotients are going to be getting larger. So I'm going to do my first problem, and my problem is 3,618 divided by 27. So 3,618 put into groups of 27. So I might want to start with my division estimate here. So I could say this would be about 3,600 divided into groups of 30. Because I could do 36 divided by 3 would be 12. And if I use my zeros to help me, I would only have one left. So I think my answer is going to be about 120. That's what I think my answer is going to be. So I'm going to set this up. My divisor, which is how big my groups are going to be, is going to go outside. My dividend is the number I have, is going to go in. I'm sorry, yes, my dividend is going to go inside. And then I'm going to get started. So I definitely can make 10 groups because 10 would be 270. But I also think I can make 100 groups because 27 times 100 would be 2,700. So I'm going to start with 100 groups. So 100 groups of 27 would be 2,700. So let's see what I have left. 918 still left. Okay, so if I have 918 still left, I can't do another 100 groups, but I could do 10 groups. So I'm going to do 10 more groups. So 10 groups of 27 would be 270. So 8, and I'm getting 648. Okay, so I could do another 10 groups, definitely. So 10 more groups of 27 would be another 270. And when I subtract, I'm left with 378. So I could do another 10 groups. So 10 groups of 27 would be 270. And I'm left with 108, so I can't do 10 groups anymore. I think I could maybe do 3 or 4 groups. So let me see what, I'm going to come over here and say, I think I could do 3 groups for sure. Because I know this is about 30. So 3 groups would be 81. Okay, I kind of ran out of room up there, so I'm going to put it over here. So I could definitely do 3 groups. So 3 groups of 27 would be 81. And I'm getting 27 left exactly, which means I have enough to make 1 more group. So 1 more group of 27 would be 27, and I have nothing left. So I was able to total make 100, 110, 120, 130, 133, 134 groups of 27. So my quotient is 134, which was fairly close to my estimate, and I don't have any remaining. So if I want to check this, I'm going to say 134 groups of 27 should equal 3,618. Now, obviously, I can't do that in my head, so I'd have to set it up and actually do the multiplication problem. So I might come up here and try that. So 7 times 4 is 28. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 2 is 23. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 2 is 9. Okay, my placeholder, I'm going to cross those off so I don't get confused. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 3 is 6, and 2 times 1 is 2. So when I add this up, I get 11, 16, I get 3,618, which is exactly what I was looking for. So that tells me I did my problem correctly. Okay, so let's do some of these together. Here's our first problem. And it says, use the read, draw, write process to solve the problem. So we're gonna read, we're not going to draw, but we're going to be solving it using the partial quotient. And it says, a tree farm has 15 rows of trees. Each row has the same number of trees. If there is a total of 1,635 trees, how many trees are in each row? So what the word problem is telling us is they had 1,635 trees and they were divided into this 15 rows. So they want to know how many is in each. So if we estimate, I would maybe say that this is close to 1,500 divided by 15, which would tell me that I think our answer is going to be about 100, somewhere in 100. That's how I would have chose to estimate that. Okay, so if we're gonna set this up, we're going to put the 15 outside, which is our divisor. Our dividend's going to go inside. Okay, and then we're gonna get started. So I would say that definitely I can make 10 groups, that would be 150. But we could also do 100 groups because 15 times 100 is 1,500. So let's start with making 100 groups first. So 100 groups of 15 is 1,500. So what do we still have left? Okay, we still have 135 left. So we can't make 10 groups because 10 groups of 15 would be 150. So I don't have enough for 10. So I would maybe want to guess how many I think. I think I'm just a little bit short of 10. If 10 would be 150, I think I could maybe make 9. So let's come over here and check. If I wanted to make 9 groups of 15, what would that be? 9 times 5 is 45. 9 times 1 is 9 plus, it would be exactly 135. So we can make 9 groups of 15, and that would use up all of ours. So our quotient is 109, and we have nothing left over. So if we wanted to check that, we would say 109 groups of 15 should equal 1,635. So let's actually do the math and see if that's right. So 109 times 15. 5 times 9 is 45. 5 times 0 is 0, plus 4 is 4. 5 times 1 is 5. Okay, so let's do our placeholder. 1 times 9 is 9, 1 times 0 is 0, and 1 times 1. So we're getting 5. 4 plus 9 is 13. 1 plus 5 plus 0 is 6. We are right, ladies and gentlemen. That makes us know that we double checked and we are completely correct. Okay, let's do the next one together. The next one says, I'm gonna rip my packet just a tad for the film. You don't need to rip yours, please. The next one says to, again, use the read, draw, write process to solve the problem, but it says Lacey plans to ride her bike 2,900 miles, which is about the distance from San Francisco to New York. If she rides 68 miles each week, how many weeks will it take Lacey to ride 2,900 miles? Okay, so we're dividing the 2,900 into 68 miles each week. So if we were to estimate this, what could we estimate? Maybe we could say this is 2,800 divided by 70. So it really helps to know my facts. So 28 divided by 7 is 4. And then we could cross that off. So I think our answer is going to be about 40. I think it's going to be somewhere close to 40. Okay, so let's set up our problem. So our groups are going to be 68 big, because 68 miles each week. And our dividend is 2,900. Okay, so I can't do 100 because 100 times 68 would be 6,800. But I definitely can do 10 because 10 groups of 68 would only be a 680. So let's start with 10. We can't do that, so let's borrow. And I'm left with still 2,200. So we can definitely do another 10 groups, which would be another 680. So when we subtract, we have to do a lot of regrouping here. A lot of regrouping. I'm left with 1,540. So I still have enough to do 10. And I keep doing mine too short, so I can just do it to the side. So 10 more groups of 68 would be 680 again. So let's see what we are now left with. I am saying we are left with 860. So we can do another 10 groups, which would be another 680, which would leave us with 180. And now we can't do 10 groups anymore. We don't have enough to do 10 groups. So how many groups could we do? Well, let's see. I know that 6 times 3 is 18. So 60 times 3 would be 180, but this is more than 60. So I think we could only do 2 groups. So let's see what 68 times 2 is. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 6 is 12, plus 1 is... Okay, so we have enough to do 2 groups. So 2 groups of 68 is 136. And let's subtract. And I'm getting 44. So I don't have enough to do another group. So I was able to make a total of 10, 20, 30, 40, 42 groups. So my quotient's 42 and my divisor's 44. So let's double check this. So that means 42 groups of 68 plus the 44 remaining should equal 2,900 if we didn't make any mistakes. So let's see what is 68 times 42. I like to usually set it up with the longer, or if they're the same length, the larger one on top. So 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 6 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Okay, let's put our placeholder. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 6 is 24, plus that is 27. So I'm getting 2,856. So 2,856 plus our 44 remainder. And I am getting exactly what I was hoping to get. I'm getting that. So that means that we checked it and we are good to go. We have the right answer, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so tonight for homework, you're continuing to practice this partial quotient method. And your homework, you have 1 problem on top with a lot of room and 2. And if you need extra space, just grab scratch paper. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.